Well, hello, and welcome back to Read Becca, and a happy Valentine's Day. So, because it's Valentine's Day, we're going to do a time-sensitive tag. That is very obviously the Valentine's Day tag. This was created by Joe Reads Books, and I was tagged by Book Chat with Pat. So, this is a short and sweet tag, all about romances and love and tragedy. So, appropriate for today. So, the prompts for the Valentine's Day tag are, number one, favorite couple ever you want to have their relationship. And I've talked about this one recently, but it's Adorabelle Dearheart and Moist von Lipwig from Terry Pratchett's Discworld. Two characters who I love, who have the exact kind of couple goals that I would want to achieve, and perfect banter and snark with one another. And then we have relationship that never happened. You wanted them to get together, but they never did. And I have to say, I haven't actually finished this trilogy. It's high on my list to read for the year, but as far as I know, they don't actually get together. But Elliot and Quentin from The Magicians by Lev Grossman. So at least as of book one, they have opportunities to get together, but because of the style and vibe of this book, this is sort of a magic school in college meets portal to a very thinly veiled Narnia combination. And it kind of looks at what would it look like if annoying college students who make bad choices actually have magical powers and are able to do a lot more damage through their jaded attitudes. And through that, they make so many bad decisions and they're very unlikable, but I also love them. So over the course of this, in that bad decision making, there are opportunities for Quentin and Elliot to be together. And they do have this really beautiful platonic relationship as well, but they're also kind of terrible people. And so, like, it's a balance, certainly, but you do want to kind of see them together. And in the TV show, continuing on past this, that certainly is played into a bit more. And that is all I will say. But yeah, I would love to see more of Quentin and Elliot together. And number three is worst relationship, a couple you wanted to break up because the character was awful, deceitful, or abusive. And I just talked about this one recently as well, and that was from Phoenix Keeper. The couple in that, at the end, I was rooting for them to not be together because the main character was just so awful and had thought so many awful things about the love interest that I was not cheering for them to be together. I was not cheering for the main character in the first place because she was just a disaster. Next is your favorite love triangle, and this is going to be a very non-traditional one, and that's Rebecca. So it's not a love triangle in that there are three people actively involved in a relationship, but it clearly is in the fact that Rebecca is an entity in their relationship, in the main character and Maxime de Winter's relationship throughout. So it certainly feels like a love triangle, and it really is compelling. So it's not a romance between the three of them, and it's not your traditional love triangle, but it is a really, really good, solid execution of a love triangle that will make you want to read it. Next is your favorite tragic love story, like Romeo and Juliet. No spoilers, a couple whose relationship was cut tragically short. So I don't understand the no spoilers, because even for Romeo and Juliet, even though we all know the end of Romeo and Juliet, pretty much, like, it's still a spoiler. You're literally just saying what the book ends with, right? Anyway, so the safest I could get, I thought, was Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, because Hardy is famously miserable. Misery May is a reading event for reading Hardy because he tortures his characters and famously writes tragic stories. So Tess throughout this has so much thrown at her by life, but she does kind of at one point decide to just go with love and ignore social propriety, and it doesn't work out. The book is very tragic. So yeah, I would have liked to see a much more happy ending for Tess. Next is, what book would you choose to be your Valentine? And this was a tough one because it's so broad and it doesn't really have a clear intent. So I went with a favorite book of mine that also does include a relationship that I love, and that is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is set on a frozen, frosty planet with characters who we're following an ambassador from kind of the sort of earth human type people to an alien race that have no fixed gender. And it's very much about reaching across that difference to understand. And also there is a beautiful relationship that develops over a lengthy, icy, very cold, isolated journey in the back half of the book. It's also a very political novel that engages with themes of rebellion and revolution as well, but there is this really gorgeous love story at its core that I think is just perfect for Valentine's Day. So with that, that's all the tags, or all the prompts, and it's telling me to tag others, but because it's Valentine's Day, I don't know who has done this or has not, and there isn't much more time to get it done. So just simply, if you see this today and you want to do the tag, go ahead and do the tag. Consider yourself tagged by me. So with that, I will wish you a happy Valentine's Day, whether you are with someone or on your own. I hope it is a day that carries some joy for you, and you're able to feel, at very least, the love from the BookTube community. I know my Valentine, Annabelle, is on the other side of the camera, keeping an eye on my every move. So with that, I will go off to give her some belly rubs. Thank you so very much for watching.